Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Kia Sorento Hybrid. This is an XLine SX Prestige. Huge shout out to Planet Kia for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This Sorento is finished off in volcanic sand. MSRP is just shy of $49,000. Now this is powered by the 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder paired to that hybrid system. It's also paired to a 6-speed automatic and pumps out 227 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. This model is all-wheel drive. It weighs in around 4,300 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 8.4 seconds with a top speed of 120 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 17.7 gallons. You'll expect to see 32 miles per gallon in the city and 35 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 110.8 inches. Its overall length is 189.6. It has a width of 74.8, a height of 66.9, and its ground clearance measures in at 6.9 inches. Now as we move on to the exterior styling, you'll notice that the Kia badge is blacked out for that badge. There's also a forward camera, parking sensors too, and a dark housing for all of the LEDs. Integrated nicely at the base of the hood, even working its way into the grille section there, where you'll notice there's a dark gray trim accent for the lower section of the grille surround. There's also a sensor for distance pacing, and then fog lights tucked away in the lower trim accent, giving it a great design along with the lines coming down the hood. Now you'll notice there's some plastic for the bumper, which works its way to the fender arches. This model also has gloss black for the wheels. You'll notice there's some more trim accents in the lower side skirt there, and then even a camera and a turn signal on the gloss black mirrors. There's more gloss black for that trim underneath it. It's on the window trim, the roof racks, and this features a full moon roof up top. For a 3-row SUV, this also has some really good proportions for the side and a neat trim accent that comes to this point right in the back, along with the flowing lines that lead their way to the LEDs. Now this also has a third brake light up top along with the wiper blade. There's the backup camera, parking sensors, and then this does have remote start, so you can use the key fob to activate that and use the key fob to release the liftgate, or just use the control located underneath. And now looking at the interior for the Sorento, with the back seats folded up and down for that 50-50 split, you'll notice there's still a good bit of space behind the third row. There's also a little bit of space. This is mainly for the spare tire components to place some items, but with the other half down, you have a good depth there to place in some additional items. So even if you have this packed full of people, you still have some cargo space, which is nice. Up top, you'll notice too that you have two controls to close and lock the vehicle. Now as we work our way to the interior, this has a nice design for the door panel. You'll notice too, there's the manual sunshades. There's also a large grab handle, so you can use that of course to close the door. You get heated captain's chairs, a little bit of storage, as well as some down below, and this has Bose for the audio. Sorento is also down on the brushed aluminum door sill there, and then with the captain's chairs, they have a great look to them. Now there's also a release by the headrest, or you can reuse the release down below. So both of them do the same function in releasing the seat and being able to push that forwards to allow you to hop into the back seats. Now at 5'10", it is definitely tight for me. The seat is much lower than my knees here. I'm not going to have much leg space, but I have about 1.5 inches or so of headroom. There's also storage bins, cup holders, auxiliaries, and these cargo windows here. So this is going to be better suited for children, of course. I might be able to ride around, but it is going to be a little bit tight. So if you're not looking for a full-size 3-row, you still have a functional third row if and when you need to use it. Now the captain's chairs also slide forwards and backwards, so from there we can grab the bar and get these into a comfortable position. Now you'll notice there's storage pockets behind the front seats, there's vents in the middle, even some auxiliaries down below. And then at my height, I have plenty of space for the captain's chairs, and they recline a good bit just to make you that much more comfortable. There's also adjustable armrests, so that way you can get those dialed in and just be more comfortable in these seats. And then there's the full moonroof with grab handles on both sides. And then up front, this has memory seating adjustments. There's also the window controls, lock and unlock, the mirror adjustments, and then more storage down below. And then automatic front seats, which have a lot of adjustments down on the side, even a leg support that you can pop out. Now, as we start this up, this has a unique design for the steering wheel with the flat top and bottom look to it, along with the matte black trim accents. Now on the left side, there's cruise control settings along with distance pacing and steering assist. And then if you use this top button here, this is how you can go through the digital gauge cluster. So there's a good bit of information that you can scroll through, and then you can even go up and down for this tab here and monitor quite a lot of stats for the vehicle. Now on the right side, there's also a favorites, there's voice commands, volume, tuning, and mode. And this has paddle shifters on both sides. Now on the left, there's traction control, the liftgate, a dimmer switch, there's an air vent, and then with the rest of the infotainment system here, you have a lot that you can go through. So there's quite a lot of icons that you can swipe through, and you do have some controls for it down below. So you can push on home, you can push on map, there's also a favorites to get into this information and customize it for the steering wheel, and you have setup too. Now with it in this configuration, power and volume for the audio is on the left, tuning is on the right. If I push on the fan right in the middle now we have temperature adjustments on the left and the right side. There's fan speed in the middle and a few other adjustments, and then some defrosters as well, which is fixed information on this left side. So it's really neat to have that integration. There's also this compartment underneath. You can open it up where there's wireless charging along with auxiliaries. And then this model even comes with heated and ventilated seats for driver and passenger. Now there's cup holders, some storage, and this is the gear selector. Twist it to the left for reverse, and you can bring up various angles here depending on how you need to view. You can even get into this 360 view here where you can swipe around the vehicle and have the top-down view. Now if I rotate the dial clockwise for drive, now you can get into the forward angle as well and bring up a few different angles for that. Park is going to be located right in the middle. Now behind that, there's various driving modes. Just by twisting this dial, you can go from eco to sport. There's also smart. And then on the right side, there's snow, mud, and sand. So just push on to that control, and now you can rotate for the right side, push on it again, rotate for the left. Behind that, there's the heated steering wheel, auto hold, the e-brake with a downhill assist, parking sensors, and a shortcut to the camera system. There's also plenty of storage in the armrest, a locking glove box, and then up top you have garage door buttons on one side and the digital rear view mirror. So you can go through various settings within this to adjust the brightness up and down too, and then go back to normal if you would like. So definitely very beneficial to have that. There's dome lights up top and controls for both the sunroof and sunshade. And then you have a lot of glass for this 3-row SUV. So it's very easy to see in both directions. As we set up behind the wheel now for the Sorento Hybrid, it is worth noting that you can also get a 2.5-liter turbo engine that doesn't have the hybrid system. So with the hybrid, you do have a little bit less power than the larger turbo engine. So it just depends on what you are looking to get out of with your 3-row SUV. With this hybrid, I think it's really cool technology. It's not a plug-in hybrid system, and you don't have any full EV modes with this hybrid system, which I think is still nice. So you have the hybrid assistance in the background. If you're not looking for a vehicle like a plug-in hybrid where you have to go through different settings utilizing that system, I have owned a plug-in hybrid in the past. I currently own a hybrid myself too. I think this is really cool because the EV system will kind of work in the background. So if you're going at slower speeds, maybe you're at a stoplight and you've stopped the vehicle, it does have the engine start stop, but it can utilize some of that EV assistance at slower speeds and possibly at higher speeds if you're just coasting on the highway. So it is working in the background and being utilized by the vehicle by itself. Now it's also worth noting that this has the cameras when you put on the turn signal, so you can see any blind spots on this side and then of course on your left side too. So parking lots, looking at curbs, things like that, you could almost use it for those situations, but it's better to help with any blind spots, especially when you're merging in with traffic. Now, putting a few miles on this so far, I have been able to drive the Sorentos in the past. This is definitely a great 3-row SUV. I like its sizing. It's a little bit small for that 3rd row. So if you're not looking for a larger vehicle, this is still something that is going to be great to drive. Realistically, kids are going to go in the 3rd row. I could maybe ride around town if I needed to, if you had that many people in your vehicle. But it's nice just to have those additional 2 seats with a vehicle that's not overly large. So this is something that seems very similar to a two-row SUV in terms of its sizing, so it's not something that's going to be too intimidating if you need that extra space and you don't want a larger vehicle. So especially if you maybe have some restraints in your garage, you need a smaller vehicle, this is something that is going to be much easier to park and maneuver in those situations. It's also very comfortable to drive too. I did a little bit of highway driving with this, and I really like how composed feeling Kias feel. These are almost up there with other luxury brands that are going to cost a lot more. So for a three-row SUV, there's a few others in this price range, but this is definitely nice to drive. And you have a lot of space up front. So at 5'10", I have about 2.5 inches or so of headroom. And this has a manual adjustment for the steering wheel, but you have a lot of space regardless, and just a great place to be. This would make for a great daily driver. You have some good MPG too with this hybrid, and with its power too. Let's put it into the sport mode. You can use the paddle shifters. Now there's no way to activate them, simply just push on them and we can get up to speed. Now the left paddle shifter is going to be to downshift, the right one is going to be used to upshift. And still in sport mode, second gear, here we go. You'll notice too, it will show you what gear you're in along within the lower right portion there. But with a small acceleration, we are up to speed for the Kia Sorento. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel. And we have a really nice layout for all of the controls. When a lot of manufacturers are going towards everything in the screen, it is nice that Kia has brought some of the controls to this lower panel. While they're not physical buttons, it's still very easy to go through all of them and have them separated from the screen up top. So I think that's a really nice layout, giving you a minimal amount of controls, but you have a lot right in that area to easily go through. And the materials in this are fantastic. You have a little bit of plastic up here. For its price point though, I mean, it's a really nice layout and interior. So you are going to get a very well built vehicle, and I like Kia has one of the best warranties available. So if you're looking for a brand new vehicle, especially at this price point, I think it's a great option for the three-row. And of course you can go with the larger turbo engine if the hybrid system is not something that you would like. But I think it's nice technology for a vehicle like this just to help with smoother accelerations. It will give you a little bit better MPG as well. So there are some benefits to the hybrid, even though it does lower the horsepower and torque slightly. So it just depends on what you're looking to get. Just to get another look at the camera system. So when you have that on, you can even see the curb and how close you are, but of course it will help with your blind spot merging on the highway and things like that. The rest of the visibility though, is super easy to see, and I like the fact that there's the camera system just to give you some more tech features, especially for the price and for this model. There's also a lot of different trim levels that you can go with the Sorento in general, so just depending on the features that you would like for this model. And it's a really comfortable place to be. It would make for a great daily driver, especially if you're commuting with several people. And that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 Kia Sorento Hybrid. Once again, a huge shout out to Planet Kia for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.